Cool. So let's get into it, man. We'll see if some people show up, and if they don't, sucks to be them. They'll get it later. So basically, my whole thing on this is like a lot of people really overestimate what is required to have like quote unquote success. Um, I know a lot of artists who, if they had 100 people, if they had 1,000 people that bought their stuff consistently, like for them, that would be like life changing. And I really don't think that that's unachievable at all. Um, so obviously 1,000 would be a great place to go, but we're just going to start with 100. We'll keep it simple, keep it achievable. So, to quote Kevin Kelly, if you have 1,000 people who will buy anything you produce, you can make a great living. It's a beautiful, liberating concept. I really believe in that. So that's what we focused on. First 100 fans. So that's why. And basically the concept is if you can do it with 100, if you have a system that works, we're going to talk about conversion rates and how to like measure if it's working or not. But if you can find a system that works, you can scale it up. So if you can get 100 fans, you can get 1,000 fans, you can get 10,000 fans. It's just a matter of time and money, really. So, boom. Yeah, so I really think community is the vibe with this. I mean, I'm gonna like argue for using school as this, but it doesn't have to be school. It can be, it can be content, it can be whatever, but it's all about getting 100 people that actually really give a shit about what you're doing. So, make sense so far? I'm sure it does.
I'm here with you, man. I just didn't want to have my audio going so you could hear my ice cubes down in my iced coffee, but my
So yeah,
square my chair is squeaking too, so there's that.
you're good, bro. Since you're here, before we jump into the concepts, like,
Yeah.
what do you think about that premise? Would you agree with that premise?
Oh yeah, 100%. And this is like I have found that other coaches that I've dealt with and other people that I've worked with have a similar outlook. Alex Hermosi, is one that I listen to his. I take a walk every morning after breakfast, just myself and Alex Hermosi in my headphones,
Oh
and
yeah,
he talks
he's
about
dope.
that a lot, man. And like you said, scaling it up. Start with 10, then go to 50, then go to 100, and then just
Totally.
scale it up from there. You do the same thing, you just do it more of it. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's something that I actually quote him coming up, so I'm so glad you brought him up, but that he really drove that concept home for me. And I've heard that that's so funny. Dylan is reacting to the picture. He's like, "Why are Johnny Bravo there in the picture?" um, but yeah, that's something that really, like, I think as an artist is kind of counterintuitive, because as an artist you spend so much time perfecting the record, which has to be perfect, and all these things. We're gonna do this crazy concept for this music video. It's gonna change the game. Like, we have these really like kind of egoic, arrogant, like big, larger than life, and it's like, man, just like post every day. And I have one guy, literally, shout out to Soul's Manifesto. He's in the group, but he's not that active because he's actually posting every day. And he was like the only client. I've given this advice to so many people: just post a reel every single day. He's like the only person who's actually done it. He's done it for like 6 months, and his songs are getting like 40,000 plays now,
Man,
when
it's great.
before they were a
Yeah,
thousand. It's been 6 months.
yeah.
No paid promo. Not doing an email list. He's not doing any of like the tricks. He's just posting every day.
It's
And a lot
consistency is what that's the key.
Exactly. And a lot of the
Yeah.
content is stuff that other guys would be like, "Oh, that's not good enough to post." When it's like, dude, it doesn't have to be this 10 out of 10. If you're posting solid sevens consistently, that seven eventually, just from doing it every day, will work its way up to an 8. And then you're going to have thousands of pieces of content instead of this one 8 that you spent a year on and nobody saw because you didn't
Right.
have any traction. Anyways, it's cool to see. So yeah, that was a big game changer, because I really thought like, oh wait, I don't want to post too much, and it's like in reality you almost can't post too much. So we'll get to
Right.
that. But anyways, so
True.
what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was agreeing with you. You can't post too
Word,
much.
word.
But I did a thing once 2 years ago. I did a thing where the month of June, I said I'm gonna post 2 times every day to all the platforms. It was pretty much the same
Hmm.
content, but bro, it was like that whole month was just a full-time gig of posting. That's all
Yeah,
it
it's
was.
brutal.
It was tough. It was tougher than you think it is, man. You know,
Totally.
you
No,
run out of
it
ideas, you run out of things you wanna say, you run out, you gotta figure out how to not only the logistics of how to do it, but what do you say? What do you do? What do you make? You know,
right.
it's crazy. It was not it got crazy, but I did it, and it helped. It did boost my YouTube viewers and my subscribers for sure, but
Totally.
I don't wanna do
Um,
it
I
again.
I have some things that we'll cover for that specifically because I agree. It's like the first layer of it is like understanding that what needs to be done, and then it's like, oh shit, this is actually kind of intimidating.
Yeah.
But I mean, too, it's like I feel like the consistency thing. It's a lot more about like really just sticking to it over time. Like it's not about posting absolutely once every day, but if you're just aiming for that, you're gonna get so much farther than if you are posting once a year or whatever, you know. Um,
Yeah.
and there are tricks that we'll get to do that. We've already talked about a couple, but I want to talk about a couple more on here. So, because yeah, once you like accept, okay, this is how much content I probably should be posting, then it's like, okay, how the fuck do I do that?
Right.
So, anyways, all right. So, I just want to cover a couple terms just so everybody's on the same page. I know you probably already know this, but I just want to really define it for people, some of my people who probably never really understood these terms, including myself, some of like the little splitting of hairs. So basically, traffic is people walking by. So if we're going to use the metaphor of like whatever you're selling, whether it's your music or your education or whatever, it's a shop, right? And
Yeah.
so if you have traffic walking down the street, you don't own that traffic, you didn't create that traffic, but it's there. And so if you set up shop in front of that traffic, you're naturally going to get some people showing up. So that's a really important term is traffic. And a lot of people mix up traffic with leads, and I don't want to do that. So that's why I'm splitting the hair. Let me plug my phone in real quick. Come on, buddy. So yeah, traffic is the just the amount of people that are looking at whatever you're looking at. So that's like the whole premise of the concept of content is like we're going on these platforms that already have a ton of people to hopefully siphon some of that traffic off and then convert that into fans. So leads, the difference between a lead and traffic is the people just walking by. Leads are the people who actually like open the door and come look in and maybe like grab a card or maybe buy something. Um, that actually like take that next step. So in most cases, it's going to be like an email or something like that, or a phone number or like an opt in on some type of like you have like a form that you're like, hey, if you want my free thing, put your email in. Okay, cool. I hit the thing and they get an email. So you already know about that though, huh?
Yeah, I've built, quite a nice, email list by doing exactly that.
How large is your email list, bro?
3,500?
Woo! Y'all should be doing what he's doing, and that works, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if you want me if you here's some free cool stuff. If you want it, you gotta give me your email address. So,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. We gonna get there. I love it. I want to ask you more questions too, like
yeah,
as we
yeah,
keep going, because so this brings us to our next thing. So you're familiar with the term conversion rate, right?
yeah, yeah,
So for people who don't know, the way I kind of word it is it's similar to what we just talked about. Like if you have traffic that comes in or that's going by, excuse me, and then you have leads that come into the store. Let's say you have 100 leads that come into the store. Out of those 100 leads that walk in, how many of them actually bought something would be your conversion rate? Is that pretty fair?
very. Yep.
Cool. So that being said, this is something I didn't put in here that I need to add to here, but this is something that I've learned that kind of blew my mind. The average conversion rate for things like email, for things like sales, for things like promotions, the things that people click on for things like Walmart and like Target, the big dogs, the big boys, the Amazons, the Jeff Bezos, the guys who spend millions and millions on ads, right? Their average usually maxes out around 5% conversion rate.
Yep.
So if you're getting 5%, you're crushing
You're
it.
killing it.
I,
Yeah.
I think that's a huge misconception, man, that people don't understand. That like really discouraged me for a long time. And I see a lot of people do this on Facebook. All like I see this locally constantly, where people will be like, "Oh, I have 1,000 friends and I only get 4 likes, or I only get 50 likes." Like they'll complain about actually a pretty good rate. And it's like, man, Like I can't be going out there telling everybody because nobody wants to hear that shit. But it makes me sad because I'm like, dude, no, you're actually really succeeding. You're just your metric is skewed. You think that because you have 1,000 friends that first of all that all of them even saw your post because I promise they didn't. So let's say 250 of them saw it. Like maybe they weren't even consciously looking at it. They might have scrolled right past. Like there's so many factors. They might have just been busy in that moment. They might have seen it and then put their phone down. Like you don't know. There's so many factors. I see this all the time too, where people on YouTube will be like, "We got 100,000 views last month, and only 50% were people who were subscribed." And it's like, okay, I get. So their whole thing is like, so subscribe, please subscribe. But they don't realize like a lot of people might be watching from a different computer. A lot of people might be watching like on something at work that's not logged in. There's a lot of other factors that go into it that can make you think that because you're not getting these massive returns that you're doing something wrong. And that's just not the case. It's always going to be a percentage, and it's usually going to be smaller than you think. So what my takeaway from that is basically it's like if the conversion rate is 5%, if I need 100 people who open my emails to have 5 of them buy something, then in order for me to have 500 people that buy something every time, I got to have at least 10,000 emails.
Easy.
That's my
No, it's
ballpark math.
yeah. The
So
actual average of what in my where I am, my
yeah.
actual average is probably 1.5%.
Oh man. And
1 to
that's not even
1.5,
that's
so
not horrible,
no,
like
no, it's not
that's
bad at
enough
all,
to
but
pay your
enough to
bill.
pay for the thing, you know? But I don't advertise. There's that also. I don't pay for ads.
Word.
Kinda what kills me
Yeah.
are these people
So
that, they'll come out and say, "Oh, yeah, we had we made $100,000 last month." Yeah, what they don't tell you is that they spent $98,000 on advertising.
right.
So they only made 2 grand.
No, it's all about like the cash on cash return
Yeah,
or whatever
yeah,
it's called. I don't know if
but they
but
don't that's not the way they present it to you because they're trying to get you to buy their thing saying that
right,
you can make this kind of money as well, you
right.
know? So, and that kinda kills me, but this ain't no
Totally.
giveaway.
That I like Mosey the best for that reason because he puts it in simple terms of like,
Absolutely.
this is what you do and this is what you get out, like inputs, outputs.
Yeah,
I'm all about inputs.
he's not opposed to
Engineer, we're
buying
all about
ads.
inputs.
Yeah, he's not
What'd you say?
opposed to buying ads, but,
Right.
making sure your
Well, and
ad
here
spend is making is, your return on investment is good.
exactly. Yeah, like you need to test the system before you spend the money, not the other way around.
Absolutely.
And we cover that a tiny bit in here too, but yeah, so conversion rate is so important, and that like really changed my whole frame of mind just thinking about anything really, like even down to like advertising to random people or even like thinking about like buying stuff at the grocery store. It's like there's only so many days things are going to be on sale. It's a really powerful way to look at things when you realize like, oh, it's just probability, it's not personal.
Do you,
So
when you're talking about leads and traffic, do you talk about warm leads and cold leads?
we're going to get there.
Okay.
That's coming up.
Alright,
That's
that was
coming up.
alright.
Good question. Yeah, all the right questions. I love it. This is fun. um so yeah, we talked about that already. So here's the formula. I really want to like kind of sum it up with this. So if you have high traffic and you have low conversion, you're not going to have as many fans. I shouldn't say zero, but you're not going to be as successful. Versus if your traffic is more focused and you have a high conversion, you're going to get to 100 a lot faster. So like just classic example for people who have no idea what the hell I'm saying. Like if you're a hip hop artist and you show up to like an old folks home and you're rapping all these like crazy expletives and stuff, like they're probably not going to buy your mixtape, right? But if you show up to like a hip hop show and you're waiting outside and you're giving away a free mixtape that has like your information on it, you're probably going to get some people that are going to actually listen to it. Like I've listened to so many mixtapes from shows, but again, you have to know like your target audience. Like you're not going to bring a popsicle to an igloo. You got to bring something that's going to be wanted where you're going. I don't know if I'm saying that clear enough. I feel like I'm over explaining it, but does that make sense?
Very much. Yeah, you're good.
Word. So that being said, that brings us to cold, warm, and hot traffic. So the basic concept of cold traffic is somebody who just has no idea who you are at all, and it's the worst kind of traffic. Like if you imagine, it's kind of like I hate to use this analogy, but it's just such a good analogy. Like if you're trying to talk to a girl, right, at the bar, right, like, and she doesn't know you at all, and you just come up and you go like, "Hey, I think you're really cool," like, and you just like really aggressive. Like a lot of people are gonna be like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, take it easy." Versus like if you already know them in person, they might already think you're cool. They might want to like get to know you better. It's the same exact concept. So cold traffic is like cold. We call it cold calling, right? You're calling businesses. Hey, do you want to buy my product? Or you're this. I see people do this on Facebook all the time. They'll add random people and then just DM them their mixtape without even saying hi,
Mm,
which I think is like the stupidest thing you could possibly do. Um, but there are times where it's effective. So like if you know you have a really great product, like if you know you have, I don't know, like let's say you know you have a really, really, really good mixtape and you message promoters and DJs and people who actually want to hear it. Cold traffic can work. You just have to be a little more thoughtful about it. You can call businesses like if you know that you have a good photography service. Like I've done this, I've cold called businesses and be like, hey, I have a promotion right now. You get your first photo shoot free. And then I do a good job for them and then they hire me back. You know what I mean? So cold traffic is totally a thing you can do, but it usually requires you to kind of pay up front, either with like some type of promotion or just the pain and struggle of having to just do way more calling and way more reaching out. So that kind of makes sense.
absolutely, yeah.
Cool. So moving on, we're gonna do warm traffic. So warm traffic is the same concept, but like you've warmed them up a little bit. So maybe they got your email already. Maybe you gave them something for free and they got your card. Maybe they saw you from content and they jumped on your email list or they joined your school community or whatever. So those people are basically the next level higher in the whole process. So if you think of it, I should have talked about the funnel. I didn't put this in here, but if you think about promotion as like this funnel, is you're taking that raw traffic, these big group of people, and you're sort of like pulling people who are a little more interested down to that next level. That's your leads. And then you pull those leads down one more time into warm traffic, right? So maybe they, like I said, maybe they followed your email list or they subscribed. They didn't necessarily give you money, but they gave you something that they converted in some form. They,
They've
like I said, they got
shown
your
yeah,
email.
they've shown an interest in things that you offer.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Through some sort of opt in. That's the word I
yeah,
want to use, like really clear. They've actually signed up, they've actually clicked, they've actually put their information, they've given you something. They're invested a little bit more. So once they're invested a little bit more, it's a lot easier to know if they got your if you collected their email because you gave away a free EP that you know they like your genre of music, then when you hit them with an email of, "Hey, I have a new EP that's only $1," their chance of them saying yes is much higher than if you're just coming to cold traffic. So, boom. So hot traffic is like the top level where it's basically your big fans. So it's somebody who's already bought from you. Maybe somebody who's bought from you a lot. They're people who kind of buy everything you sell. People who are fans who've consumed you. They're into you and they want more of what you got. This is what we're working for. So I know in another class we talked about the Pareto distribution, and I can talk about it more. But basically, it's the 80-20 rule. It's the idea that your 20% of your emails, let's say, your traffic, your community, your fans, 20% of your fans are going to bring in 80% of your income. So when you have this top 20%, your hot traffic, your mega fans, however you want to call them, these are the people that you want to really, really, really focus on. And the cool thing about it is if they like something that you have to offer, like let's say they're warm traffic, they've moved up to hot traffic, they're just like, man, I love this guy, I love his content, I love his education, I love his music, whatever it is, and they're just eating up everything you're dropping. Then they don't like something, let's say, then you kind of know that the rest of your audience probably won't like it either. Like if your mega fans don't like you might have a dud on that one. Versus if your mega fans really, really like something, then those are the ones you want to invest more into. So like let's say you have two different types of content. Let's say you have um, I don't know, you have like the studio roasts where you roast people's studios or roast people's tracks or whatever. And then you have another type of content that's just the straight up, hey, today we're doing A, B, C, here's the info. And you think that the education stuff's really where it's at, but you notice that all your mega fans are just watching the studio roast over and over again. then it would make sense to jump more into the studio roast because that's going to build things up faster. And you don't have to do that, but again, it gives you that extra layer of information. So hot traffic is extremely valuable, both financially, community wise, and also for the information that they can give you about that direct feedback of if what you're doing is working based on what the people signed up for. Are you giving the people what they want or not? So, making sense so far?
Absolutely. You're right there.
Cool. Any criticisms? Anything you want to add?
No, I mean, and you're exactly right though with the super fans or the the ultimate fans, they'll buy pretty much anything you offer, and they'll let you know if the product is shitty. If your song's
Right.
not hitting, they're gonna say, "Hey, this isn't as good as your last one, but I still kind of like it." But
Right.
basically they're telling you to do better next time. you know?
Totally. And
Yeah,
where that top 20 or that bottom 20% is probably just going to shit on you no matter what you do.
absolutely.
You kind of want to ignore them a little bit more. These guys, if they tell you, like, you really want to take that into account because they actually give a shit about you. They care about you. So it's
Yeah,
important.
I mean, we're all gonna have haters, and
Right.
even those you can use to your advantage.
True.
I don't know if you
True.
talk about that in the program here, but there are
Not
things
really
to do with haters that are helpful.
sure. What's the quote? All promo is good promo.
Absolutely.
That's kind
Yeah, any press is good press.
right. So, all right, so we'll keep it moving. We're actually moving pretty quick here. So, I just want to cover the concept of the niche, however you say it.
Yep.
Um, so a lot of people have heard this term. I don't know how many people like really understand. It's not that complicated. I kind of boil it down to genre. So there's a quote that I didn't put in here that I should have. That's the nicher you go, the faster you grow.
Mm,
So there's pros and cons to niching. So let me explain what it is. Niching is basically your sub focus or your specialty. So if you're in a genre, if you're making music and your specialty is progressive metal, like that's a specific lane versus like classic hip hop is a specific lane. And you might have some crossover, but mostly if you make classic hip hop, you're going to target fans of classic hip hop, right? Um, and where a lot of people, including myself, have made a lot of mistakes, in my opinion, is trying to be all things to all people. Um, it's really easy to try to just do too much and kind of fail at everything. So, and there are some artists that get away with it. Like some of my favorites are like XXX Tentacion. He does like a lot of different genres. Um, but that's sort of like, excuse me, that's like a special thing. And I think for most people, the benefit of kind of locking in on your specific angle is going to outweigh the egoic arrogance of wanting to like do everything. So I highly encourage people to focus in as much as you can. At the same time, I can't do that. So for people like me who have like too much pride or whatever, I don't know, whatever it is, but like where I just can't make one style of music forever, like I just won't be happy. So for me and for people like that, I advocate for the creator brand to where it's like your niche is you specifically. So like just whatever you like. And so what's gonna make it more specific is gonna be all the things that you like and other people don't like. Um, so those are kind of the two angles I take it at. So like let's say if you're a business, right? If you're a plumbing business, you're obviously your niche is plumbing, right? Versus if you're a creator who is a plumber, you could talk about plumbing and get into that niche, but you could also talk about gaming or whatever and kind of make this overall fan base that likes you. Like who knows, maybe gamers who are also plumbers will vibe with you, you know? So I don't want people to like overly like, oh, if I don't make it super specific, if I'm not the dandelion guy, nobody's gonna mess with it. It's like no. But if you were if that's really what you were into and you went all in on that, you might be able to be the best dandelion guy out there because you're just focusing on one thing. So it's sort of a unique thing for each person, but I think the niche is definitely something that you can use to your advantage. And if you, like I said, if you're not careful, you can get lost in the sauce. So this one I wish I could give more of a straightforward thing on, but if anybody wants to, for anybody watching this on the replay, if you want like specific help on your niche, like come talk to me because I've struggled with it a lot and thought about it a lot. Um, and yeah, it's sort of an individual thing. So what do you think about that, Donnie?
Well, it in with what I do, I mean, I'm not a I don't create music. Um,
Right.
but if somebody comes to me and says, what kind of music do you?" I mean, I'm a producer and an engineer. I'm not an artist. What I meant to say. But if somebody comes to me and says, "What's your what genre do you work best in?" And the worst answer you I could give is, "Oh, I do everything. I do a little bit
Right.
of everything." You know,
Right.
and niching down, if you can niche down tighter, like if all right, let's use a mechanic, an auto mechanic, or just a mechanic. Okay, if you're just a mechanic, if you say, "Oh, I'm a mechanic," it's like, okay, but do you work on boats or airplanes or lawnmowers,
Right.
or you know what I mean? If you
Right.
say, "No, I'm a Cadillac mechanic. I only work on Cadillacs." That's a niche down thing, and now people know that, oh, that's the Cadillac guy to go to, you know?
Right.
Or I'm the rock guy, or I'm the hip hop guy, or I'm the specific genre engineer guy to go to, that kind of thing.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, kind of the worst thing you could say as a studio owner or an engineer is that, yeah, I do a little bit of everything, you know?
Totally.
Find one and specialize in it.
Or even if like, because something that's worked well for me, I kind of have two lanes. Just being distinct about those two lanes. Like, yeah, I mostly do hip hop and I mostly do like rock or progressive rock or whatever. Like, those
Yeah.
are my two. And I can do other stuff. Like, I definitely could do whatever genre. Like, I've worked with people on totally different genres because they were friends of mine and we can do cool stuff. But like, I'm not a bluegrass guy. You know what I mean? I love
Yeah, I try
bluegrass.
to
I just
steer away from polka myself, but,
yeah, exactly. And so like naturally, I think with your focus, you're gonna find your own lane. But I think doing it consciously, just as you're going through it, is super super helpful. So, like for me, I've realized like when I focus it down as much as I can without like making it so focused that I feel trapped, like I keep coming back to the term creator. So like it's a broad niche, but it is a niche. Like I'm not really here for people who are consuming content. I'm more here for people who are creating content.
yep,
So
okay,
that right there just cuts like a huge chunk of the internet off right there.
yep,
So, yep. So, and then self-made creators as opposed to like professional or whatever. It's like people like me who are solopreneurs or solo creators. And so, it can be with music, it can be with your personality, it can be political, it can be whatever, man. I personally try not to. So the downside of it too, though, is if you like, let's say you become I don't know, the vintage music guy, and then one day you find like you're like, man, I'm really into futuristic electronic music, and I just can't talk about it because all my vintage fans are gonna hate it. So that's like the scary part. You definitely don't want to niche into something that you're not like really down to focus on for a long time.
right, right.
And at the end of the day, it's kind of gonna suck no matter what you pick. So you might as well just pick something.
Just
So,
pick one,
and
just
yeah, exactly. So here's just a little breakdown. So just make it simple. Boom. Strangers, cold traffic, warm traffic, they're interested, hot traffic, they're big fans. Keeping it simple. So there's one more concept I want to cover before we get into the nitty gritty. And then, I didn't put it in here. So I'll just tell you guys. So call to action is basically telling someone to do something. So like if you had, this is where a lot of people make a mistake. They spend all this time on their content and there's no call to action whatsoever. So let's say you have a really good music video, it gets 3,000 views, which for a little guy is a lot. That's 3,000 chances that you had for somebody to click on your link and maybe follow for more. But if there's no link, if there's no, hey, follow me, or hey, join my community, hey, sign up for my email, whatever, if there's no call to action, they can't do anything. And I see this all the time. I'll see this like on shows. I'll see this for flyers for shows where they just post the event flyer and there's no like click to like RSVP. There's no click to buy a ticket. And they have digital tickets. They just didn't post a link. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. It just doesn't make sense. It's like you're basically bottlenecking the whole process. It's like calling somebody to advertise and then leaving a message and they want to call you, but you didn't leave your phone number. It makes no sense. So call to actions are super, super important. So you, in every single thing that you do, you ideally want to have some call to action, whether it's overt or not. Like, and you don't want to in every single post be like, hey, buy my shit, click this thing. But if you have a dope piece of content that you're dropping, you want to put your link in the bio. You want to put your link in the description. You want to have something to where if people do want to click and find more, it's right there for them to click. So, very important. Call to action is very important. Another thing on that I didn't put in here, but that I'm going to just throw out real quick. There's a concept called friction. So, if like let's say they like your content, they watch a video, they really 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 like it. They're like, "Oh, I love this artist. I want to find more." And they look for your link and there's no link, right? So right there, a lot of people are going to go and go on to the next thing. So that's one friction point. And then let's say people really want to find you, so some mega fans potentially, they look again, they Google you, and then they can't find you again because they Google you and they can't find you. Now that's two friction points. So now you're going to lose a whole nother wave of people. So every single time you have a point of friction, you're going to lose people. So you want to make it as simple and as easy and as frictionless as possible. You want to have one link that takes you to one thing and they get what they want. And you'll get the most people from that. So it's super, super important. A lot of people do promotion and don't do that. And it's like completely screws up the whole thing.
And
So,
those people that experience the friction with you will never come back. Even if you
right,
fix it, they're like already gone. You'll never see those
right.
people again.
Dude, I
And then
had a boo when I made my school where the very first level like was on drip. So
yeah,
basically the
yeah,
first like 30 people, I think you might have been the one who told me about that. And then yeah, and I was like, oh my God. Cause yeah, like the first 30 people just probably were like, well, screw this. This doesn't even make sense and just
yep.
left. So way she goes, boys. But
Another friction point is that if you send your people through the call to action through multiple steps, you know what I
exactly.
mean? And the more
Right.
steps they have to do, the less they're gonna come hang out with you. You have to
Right.
make it as easy as possible for somebody to get the thing that they came to get.
Exactly. It's the conversion rate thing. So 5% of people are going to convert. Every friction point creates a new set of conversions. So you're just like whittling it down, which you don't want to do. You want to get as many good people as you can. So the other side of that is if you like had some really special thing and you kind of wanted to weed out people, you can use it that way as well. But for most of us, we want people. We're not trying to weed people out. Um so yeah, I think we kind of covered why promotion is important at this point. But yeah, if people don't know about you, they can't buy from you. Simple as that. People got to know. We talked about this a little bit. This is something I wanted to. This is a quote from, I'm pretty sure from either Hormozy or Gary Vee. It might even be both. I'm not sure. But basically, if you want to be seen one time, you got to post 5 times. Just because of the way the algorithm works, just because not everybody's on their phone at the same time. It's just the way the math works out. So, if you want to be seen 10 times, you got to post 100 times. You know what I mean? That math isn't great, but you get what I'm trying to say. So, it really comes down to volume, like we were talking about earlier. So, most people just don't post enough. So, if you're not posting, you're not going to get seen. It's that simple. If you don't make a post, if you don't have a call to action, nobody's going to see you. Simple as that. So, we talked about this a little bit. This is basically like, if you have 1,000 people on your friends list and only 20 of them are reacting, like that's not because you suck. It's because they're just not seeing your content as much. Yeah, really that simple. So you just got to post more. So we were. Oh yeah, this my screen go out. There we go. Um, so Gary Vee said this. There's no such thing as too much good content. We talked about that. And he posts an insane amount of content. And Hormozy posts 100 pieces a day across all platforms. 100 of the free stuff. That's not even the paid ads, from what I understand,
Hormozy got a
which is
team though, so
crazy.
yeah, Hormozy got a team.
And they're mega successful. What's that? Right. When they schedule it out, but he writes a lot of that copy, dude, which is crazy. And then too, like a lot of it, I know from them, they'll repost. They'll find the 1 or 2 or 3 best ones and just repost the shit out of them. So there's that too, in terms of their ads. So, we were talking about earlier, a lot of people get burnt out, and these are some ways that you can get around that. So repurposing stuff is really really important, and I think a lot of people feel like you're not allowed to do that. But like you can repost a song, maybe not on streaming platforms or whatever, but like you can drop it again as a Facebook video. You can drop it again as a YouTube video. Like whatever your content is that's getting the most views, you can react to that content and do it again. So that's one really easy way you can like create more content. So once you get stuff that's popping, you just react or do more to that or do sequels to that or whatever. Same thing, you can kind of like change what it is or redo it. This is something I've really been considering lately. I've been listening to a lot of, it's random, but I've listened to a lot of Patrice O'Neal. And I've been noticing that a lot of people will take his like long form speech content and then like retitle it and just repost it over and over again. And they're getting a shit ton of views just by like creatively retitling stuff. I know on YouTube you get penalized if you straight up just post the same video again. But you could like, let's say you have a long form piece of content, like you could clip it up in different ways and rename it different things, and like there's really no limit to how creative you could get with one piece of content. So that one's pretty cool. And then another thing is coming back to like don't be afraid to repeat stuff, because most people are just not seeing everything you're posting. So don't be afraid of like posting the same stuff more. We have another one that we'll get into for making more content, but since it's here, I wanted to cover that. So, okay, so the next thing, this is super, super important. And we talked about it a little bit, but a lot of people just don't know about it. So for my people who don't know about it, an email list is what it sounds like. It's a list of emails that you have consensually collected. So this is really important. You can't just like steal people's emails. Like you have to ask them for the specific purpose. So like usually the way that I've done it that has worked best for me is you give something free away, like Donny was talking about. You're like, hey, I have a free pack of beats, or hey, I have a free song, or hey, I have a free video that you can download or whatever. And then you click a link, you put in your email, you get the email for free, and they get the song for free. So if you don't do that, if you do it illegally and just steal emails, you'll get banned and your promo will suck and everybody will hate you and you'll go to jail forever. Maybe not go to jail, but you'll go to email jail. So you don't want to do that. So we cover the rules of what you can and can't do with that. If you want to cover that in more detail, it's all in the course right here. But basically, you want to sign up for one of, this is the part I really want to get into. You want to sign up for one of these. I've used MailChimp. I've used MailerLite. Obviously I'm using School. I just made one of these, but I haven't really used it. So I'll let you guys know if it's good or not. But basically, you sign up for one of these, and until you have a certain amount, it's free. And you can make a little landing page that I'm going to make another episode on how to make a landing page, but it's really easy to do it. If anybody wants help, just DM me. I got you. But you sign up, you make a free landing page, and it'll automatically give them the link and collect the email. Or if you want to get real simple with it, you can make a school community, and whenever somebody joins, you can put their email in right there. So you could have it in School, you could have it as an email thing. It's totally up to you. But it's really important, once you get the emails, you want to put them in one place. So a lot of people keep them on like Google Docs, or people will keep them on MailChimp. You just want to be really careful. You don't want to leak people's information. How do you, if you don't mind me asking, Donnie, how do you store your, like, do you have like a master list
I
that you have like in
use
Google?
I pay for a service called Lead Connector Email System,
Okay.
and, I use an agency version of Go High Level,
Yep.
and that's connected to my Go High Level, so I can use that to send emails to my entire list all at the same time.
Oh, that's clutch,
You
because it just like
can't do
scans
that
it.
you can't do that with Gmail. Gmail will shut you down and you'll lose everything. They'll actually delete your content.
Wow.
You gotta be really
Yeah, that's
careful
scary.
using Gmail for that.
Yeah, they don't play with that spam
No.
stuff.
So MailChimp is good. The Octo mailer is good because, like you said, those are free to a certain amount.
Right.
I'm over that amount, so I have to pay. For
Right.
the longest time, I used Kajabi. I was on Kajabi for 6 years, and, that's built into Kajabi. It's basically the same as the lead connector. Um,
Word.
but yeah, it's
I
you gotta be really careful with it just because it is a legal thing, especially in Europe. If some of your people are in Europe, the UK especially, you gotta be really
yeah.
careful.
for sure. Yeah, it's better to just be super legit with it, man. I've learned that from experience because like once your email list is no good, it's no good. So it's a very precious thing. It's your customers basically. So you want to be careful. Um, what was the other thing? There was one other thing I wanted to cover on that topic, but it is eluding me now.
Well, I know what it is. On the
What's
other
that?
side of that, once you build an email list, you have to stroke that email list. You can't just, like, go silent.
True.
Once a month,
True.
just send out a simple email going, "Hey, how's your week going? Everybody good?" Something so that they gotta keep that list warm. Otherwise,
Totally.
when it does come time for you to sell and stuff, they're not gonna be there for you.
Totally. Yeah, it's something I'm bad about, man. I've been slacking on the email list thing, man. It's powerful. Oh, I was gonna say I use Biggin for my contacts. It's part of Zoho, but I don't
Yeah.
know if it can like link with anything else. So I need to look into that. So
Well, you're
um,
actually on my list, Z, because you are in my school community,
nice.
and everybody in my school community got converted to my list.
Yeah, I want to be on that list. It's a good list to be on.
Pretty sure
You're on
you'll
my list too. I'm pretty sure.
there you go.
You might have gotten in before I turned the emails on though, actually, because you were an OG man. I didn't
Yeah.
turn that on till like 70 members.
Yeah, I was I
Which
was
I
I
kind of
think I
regret,
was
but
there right before you hit I think I was there before you hit 50.
yeah, no, definitely, definitely, you were there early. So one more thing on that. So we got the email list. Email list is really important. That's kind of where you're just going to collect all your people. It's very, very important. And it's something I've noticed that nobody has, which is just depressing. Like my boy who's doing the 6 month promo thing, like I'm 90% sure he doesn't have an email list. If he would have built that email over the last 6 months, he probably would be making some steady money off of that already. Even if it's only 100, 200 a month, like we said, if you scale it up, like now you can take that money and reinvest it into a video or whatever. So it's powerful. So the other half of that, we talked about it a little bit already, but I just want to cover the concept, is a landing page. So a landing page is basically like a really specific website. So normally on a website, like if you go to, like, I don't know, if you go to our website, let's go Soul Collective LLC, bing boom. We'll wait for that to load. But so if you go to a website, it's usually kind of like a general purpose thing. Like it's got your hours, it's got like a portfolio, it's got a front page, it's got all these different pages. And that's cool for people who just like want to go and check your site out. But if you actually want to get the highest conversion rates, you want to remove as much friction as possible, like we talked about. So that's where a landing page comes in. So, like, here we got our nice fancy site, it looks cool, all that stuff. Um, and it's nice, but like I said, it's very general. So if somebody's specifically coming to book an appointment, it's right here, which is cool. But if they're coming to, like, let's say you want to give away a free email or a free ebook, or you want to give away a free EP or a free album or a free whatever you want to give away to get people to give you your email, right? Their email, right? Then it's much better, instead of sending them to a website where they have to have all this friction and click and dig around and find it, you send them to one specific page that specifically, boom, put your email in, boom, you're done. So not everybody has a website. First of all, a lot of people are still using Linktree. And even if you do have a website, not everybody is going to have the convenience to set up a landing page. You can totally do it. It's not a big deal. But a lot of these other platforms like MailChimp, here I got them right here, MailerLite, MailChimp, ConvertKit, Card, all of these sites will allow you to do that for free. So that's whenever I have a contest, I'll usually use those just for convenience, even though I do have a website. So it's great. You make a little list, or you make a little page. You can customize it. You can be like, put your email in, and you'll get whatever for free, and then it'll automatically spit them out. You can make it a Google Drive link or a file or however you want to do it. So, what do you use for your landing pages? You just do that on your website?
Yeah, I have a specific folder that is just landing pages, and I create them as I need them. But honestly, my website is a landing page. My website's only one page.
Hmm.
I've reduced the friction even on my entire website. There's no
Smart.
menu. You go to my domain, and it's just one page.
See,
Yeah,
dude, Donnie knows what he's doing.
you gotta scroll up a little bit to get to, see everything, but at the same time, the important stuff is what they call above the fold. That's the first thing people see when they come to your site, when they come to your page.
Right. That's why I got the book now right there. Like, boom.
Yep. Yep. Oh,
First thing.
absolutely.
Yep. Straight up. So that's like really the majority of it. So the next part is like, okay, cool. So I understand conversion rates. I understand promote why I need to promote. I understand like the basics of the platforms. If anybody wants help setting them up, let me know. I got you. So let's say you got your email list going, you got your landing page going. How do you get traffic? How do you get leads? So there's a couple ways you can do it. You can do it free or you can do it paid. So there's pros and cons to both. Obviously, free is free, so that's cool. The downside of free is it takes time. It's always going to cost you something. So you're going to pay with your money, you're going to pay with your time. So for free, there's three main ways that I like to tell people to do, and there's a million ways you can get as like you can go hand out CDs on the street. People still do that, but in terms of what I think is the more efficient way, you can send direct messages, and not shitty direct messages. We'll get into it, but you can do attraction offers, which is what we talked about, giving something away for free, or you can do content. Those are the three best ways, in my humble opinion, to do free promo. So, what do you think, Donnie? You think those? Would you agree with that statement?
Yes, very much.
Well, there you go. Heard it from the goat right there. I love that we're on the same page with a lot of this stuff. It's cool, man. So when we talk about direct messaging, man, I just want to like nip this shit in the bud right now because I'm so tired of people doing the whole like, hey man, listen to my mixtape. I'm so effing tired of that, man. I'm so tired of it. So direct messaging is like actually about building a relationship with people who actually like kind of care. It's not just like spamming links. It drives me crazy. Even my homies that I actually like, it drives me crazy when they spam me a link. Versus when they hit me up and go, hey Z, they use my name. How you doing, bro? How's the studio? They demonstrate that it's not a robot. They're actually asking me about something that I actually like. They're actually treating me like a human being. And then they go, hey, by the way, I recently dropped this project that I worked really hard on. I'd love your opinion on it. Like that type of a message is going to get so much more play with me than somebody just spamming me a link. So the core of what I'm trying to say is whenever you direct message people to tell them about your stuff, there's nothing wrong with telling people about something that you believe in. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But there's definitely something wrong with spamming them with it, and there's something wrong with treating them like they're not people. Like just if you're gonna do the direct messaging thing, the power of direct messaging is having a one-on-one and actually like engaging with that direct human being, and they're going to appreciate that because everybody likes being treated like a human being. So like if you approach direct messaging, like I said, to spam people, you're going to have a bad time. If you approach it with the intent of I'm going to start conversations with people that I care about and share something I believe in with them, and if they don't want it, cool, you're going to get way better results. So that's my thoughts on direct messaging. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I did a direct message. There was somebody in the school community who asked a question that I knew the answer to. Okay, so I answered the question. I was in someone else's community, by the way, and and then I said, "Hey, if you want, I can really help you with this. If you want to jump on a call, let's jump on a call." And then she was like super skeptical about, well, if I jump on a call with you, you're gonna pitch me, and I don't really want to be pitched. I was like, no, I really just want to help you with your thing, you know. So we did it through direct message, and at the end of the conversation with through the direct message, she was like, oh, you didn't try to sell me anything. You're awesome. But what that
Right,
turns that lady into now is a hot lead for me.
right.
So I can still reach out one day and say, hey, remember that thing that we did? I got another thing I can help you with, you know? And just so
Absolutely.
maybe I blew up her skepticism about, spamming and scamming.
Well, it's such a simple thing, man. It boils down to value, and like that's such a corny word for a lot of people, but it's like if you genuinely show up and give more than you take, people will naturally want to give back. It like people feel uncomfortable getting shit for free too much. They really do. So like I've had a lot of buddies, like almost all my people who are buying from me right now on the subscription, they're not even people that are like fully consuming the service. It's people that I just keep helping over and over again. And they're like, well, dude, I can support. I want to support. It's interesting. Like a lot of it really is the relationship. Like you get so much more on the back end from actually helping people and actually giving a shit than like trying to just hustle. Like I got one guy in the group and that's my dog. I love him. But he's very like salesman-y, And I think that even though he's a good salesman, he puts in the work, he sends a ton of DMs, he's very active, he's very engaged, and he does care. But you can just feel a little bit of like, I'm doing this for me first. And I'm always going to feel hesitant with those kinds of people versus like the people who are like, no, I'm giving this to you. Like, I know I can help you. I'm going to give this to you. Then once they get it, they feel weird. Like they want to give it back. So, yeah, man, I think that's super important. So let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. So attraction offers. We talked about it already. It's basically giving something away for free. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. Give something good, something that people would pay for. That's the key, is like something that you would actually charge for. Give it away for free. It's really that simple. If you give something dope away for free, people give you their email. I don't even want to complicate it more than that. It's that simple. And we kind of covered this already. Like, it has to feel like a gift, not a trap. Like, it has to feel like something actually worth getting, not, oh, you just want something from me. Nobody likes spam, dude. Nobody likes that shit. And then that brings us to our last free method, which is content. It's really the same concept, just in a new format. Like, you want to create content that is good. And if you create a lot of good content, more people will want more of that. Whether that's like a subscription to like extra content, whether it's a higher tiered education service, it could be your merch, it could be whatever, it doesn't matter. Whatever your call to action is going to be. Making good content is going to always make that. It's really that simple. So, here's a few examples of like actual call to actions that you could do. So for my people who like, I don't know what to put, you could put something like, listen to the full studio breakdown here and leave your comment with your thoughts. So like the call to action is leave a comment, right? Another one is like, if you like this content, hit the link to join my free community and get exclusive content. So that would be like the school community approach. That's what I do over here. Is I do lives, I do content, and I say, hey, if you guys like what we're doing, come join the school. So this is kind of what Donny was talking about, is like, hey, let me know your biggest challenge. So you're basically asking them to kind of get free work from you when you do that. Like, hey, what is your biggest challenge? And then you actually take the time to help them with it, right? And like Donny said, like that's gonna build rapport, that's gonna build trust, that's gonna, not only that, but it's gonna demonstrate that you know what the fuck you're talking about and that you can actually solve the problem. Or like, let's say in the music perspective, right? Like, you can post something and be like, hey, what type of music do you guys like the most? And then when people are like, oh, I like the type of genre that you make, you'd be like, oh, well, do you like this? Like, actually asking for them to rip on you. Like, there's ways you can almost reverse engineer it to have people give you the problem and then give them the solution, if that makes sense. So it applies to everything. But yeah, you can basically get as creative as you want with it, man. You can get as creative as you want with it. As long as you're giving some type of value, whether it's solving a problem, entertaining, or educating, you're going to be able to get conversions at some percentage. So if you get it at 1%, you just raise it higher. If you're getting it at 5, you're already killing it. So moving on, we got paid promo. I don't want to get super deep into this because this is more like the free getting started kind of a thing, but I just want people to know it's there. So the whole concept with paying is you're doing the same thing for free you're doing the same thing that you would do for free, but you're doing it faster and at more scale. So when you're posting for free, you're competing with the algorithm, versus when you're spending money on ads, they basically prioritize you and put you first. So the secret sauce to paid promotion, like if you take nothing away from this, take this away, like, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, but you want to test, you don't want to promote just some random thing that you made that you think is worth promoting. Like, you want to actually take content that's already working really well and promote that. It could be a call to action of buying something, or it could be just a piece of content that just is doing really well. But you don't want to promote just what you think is a good idea. You want to actually test it first. It's super, super important. So that's ads. And it can be as simple as you just spend $20 to boost a post on Facebook, or you can get more complicated with it and be like, oh, well, my target audience is 30 to 34 male musicians in Idaho, so I'm going to target those. You can get weird with it, but it fundamentally boils down to you test some stuff with a little bit of money, and when you find something that works good, you spend more money on it, and it makes it go faster. It's really that simple. We can get more detailed into it next time if you guys want. So the other one, and this is probably the best option for people who are like just getting it going. Like, let's say you have some good content, you have some good education, you have some good music, whatever it is, and you're like, I just have nobody. The best way to reach people when you have nobody and you want to do it quickly for free is to jump on podcasts, basically eat off of other people's clout. So you can collab with other people, and it doesn't have to be a slimy thing, you know what I mean? But everybody can benefit. If you're actually bringing something quality and you go on somebody's podcast, it's a win-win. So it's not like you're just trying to steal their views or anything. But you go on podcasts, you go on interviews, you do collaborations, you do we have a lot of these like cook-up sessions in our city where people will like get together and all work together and be on a live stream together. Like events, just anything you can do to reach out and collaborate with people who already have an audience. If you do that with 10 people, if you find 10 people who already have 100 views or 100 fans or 1,000 fans, and you get on that podcast, I guarantee you're going to have a high conversion from that if you're dope. So that's probably the best way when you're first starting. And this isn't underpaid, but this doesn't have to be paid. But a lot of podcasts and things like that are paid. You know, you can find somebody online. It doesn't even have to be a podcast. You can find somebody online who has a lot of followers or whatever, and throw them $20 to just post your thing on their page. Like, it can be that simple. But find people who have influence and work with them and share that influence. Simple as that. So the last one is display ads, and this is like the more traditional advertisement. This is typically when you like have a little more money to spend and when you're doing something a little bit bigger. But you can buy, those little banner ads that you see. They have a similar thing on YouTube where, like, as opposed to like an ad that runs on the video, you can have like a little side ad that just like pops up on the side. So those are okay. They all have their pros and cons. Honestly, this is my least favorite of the three, but I just wanted to include it so that, it's basically the billboard ad of the internet. So just want people to know it's a thing. It has its functions. So we go into detail with each one of those, and we cover the testing ads thing. So I just want you guys to know it's there. We're going to go through content super briefly. So this one I kept really, really simple on purpose because I don't want to overcomplicate it. Pick a platform, get to 100, and then that's it. Like, a lot of people, myself included, we're trying to do like 25 different platforms at once, and I think that's a big mistake. If you can get to 1,000 or 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, like, you can totally get 1,000 Instagram followers from that. So a lot of us, we're just diverting our energy in so many places. I think it's way better to go all in on one platform, build an audience there, and then transfer the audience over to other places. I don't really follow that advice, but that's what I think people should do. And the next, well, like we talked about earlier, consistent content. The goal, I word this like this on purpose because I understand everybody has life, and this is something that I have not perfectly achieved. I have a couple platforms that are doing this, but we're not where I want to be with it. So I understand it's challenging, but the goal should be at least one short form content per day and one long form piece of content per week. If you're doing the content thing and you want it to be serious, if you're trying to build an audience using content, if you're not at least doing that, it's going to be almost impossible. And the key I really want to cover on this is this concept called document, don't create. So a lot of people focus so much on the creation side of things, like, oh, I have to make this perfect course or this perfect song or whatever. It's like, man, just make a video of what you did that day. Even if you didn't do shit that day, just make a video. It's like, oh, I'm in the studio and we worked all day and nothing good happened, but I was here and here's a little 60-minute or 60-second clip. But something I've been doing lately, I've been posting little 60-second clips of just like music I've been listening to while I'm cooking or cleaning or whatever. Just something. I think we really overestimate like how complicated and special, and like we get ego about it. It doesn't have to be that deep. Just post something. So if you wrote that day, post that. If you went to the gym that day, post that. If you hung out with your cat that day, post that. If you were listening to something, post that. If you learned a new skill, post that. Like, document what you're doing, and then the stuff that you're creating, you can do that too, but it doesn't have to be this, oh, every day, what am I going to make? What am I going to make? Like, it has to be clickbaity. It has to be a hook. Like, it doesn't have to be a hook every day. But if you're posting something every single day, then when you do drop those videos that are more thought out, more well cooked, all those kinds of things, you're going to have more audience just waiting, ready to see that. So that's a huge trick to creating more content. So that's what that is right here. Boom, boom. So that moves us to the tips and tricks, and then we are in the home stretch. So scheduling posts, man, this changed my life. I literally scheduled like 6 months worth of content a couple months ago. I told you about this, Donny, but for the people who don't know, and oh my goodness, man, it changed my life. Like, we took some long form podcasts, I snipped them into a bunch of little shorts. I spent probably 2 days just editing my brain out, and then scheduled it for the whole 6 months, and then I even have another 3 months that I haven't like titled yet. That's what took the longest, was titling them. But basically, you take a day every week, like Donnie was talking about earlier. You take a day every week or a day every month, and you just grind it out and schedule them out. It can be simple stuff, it can be complicated, it doesn't matter. But if you're trying to be consistent and you're not scheduling, I feel like you're just setting yourself up for failure, honestly. And then if you are scheduling, then when you have like, oh, I don't have something for today, you can pull out your phone and document something. Or when you do document something, now you have 2 posts for the day. So you quickly get into this like building momentum situation. So yeah, scheduling is super powerful. And then this is one of the last things, but it's really important. Don't get scammed. Don't go drop $1,000 with somebody if you've never worked with them before. That's just not a good idea. Spend $10. Like, I'll do this all the time. I'll buy promo from somebody. I bought promo. This is so funny, dude. Have you seen, you watch Dr. Phil at all?
No, not really.
Have you seen the guy who basically he like said he was better than Eminem and he was on Dr.
Oh, yeah,
Phil?
yeah, yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, I used to buy promo from that guy. And I just found him on Facebook. And honestly, the first time I spent money with him, I got some decent results with it. And then so I think I spent like $30 with him the first time, and then I spent like 50 the second time. And then I hit him up again, and I was like, hey man, I'm a little confused because I spent like more this time, and I feel like I didn't get as good of results as I did before. And he got all weird. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, then I'm not going to spend the next 200 because I was ready to like spend some money with him. You know what I mean? So and not that I like thought he was this great promoter or whatever, but I was like, okay, he's zany. He's obviously doing something. He's got a little bit of clout. Maybe what he's doing is working. I'll try anybody once type of a thing. But yeah, it's really easy to get scammed. So you always want to test shit out before you spend money with anybody. And that leads me to my final point with promotion. This is so important. You don't want fake views. You don't want them. You do not want them. They do not make anything good for you. They basically, if YouTube, Facebook, well, mostly YouTube, but I know the other platforms do it too, but particularly YouTube is brutal about this. If YouTube sees that you have a bunch of robots watching your content, it'll permanently delist your content. It'll permanently derank your content. And you have to earn it back or make a new channel. So like, and I know a lot of the streaming game is robots, like it just is what it is, like a lot of it is that, but it's just, if you're trying to be like us, like if you're not a super mega star like Taylor Swift or something like that, like trying to play with fake views is just like asking for trouble. So I really, really highly recommend that people don't do that. That's like my big warning on that one. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it right there. So just to kind of like rein it all in and bring it all, tie it all together and put a bow on it and bring it all back home. If you took nothing from this class, I want you to take the concept of conversion rate. I want you to take the concept of traffic, and I want you to take the concept of the email list. If you can build a foundation of just stacking up people who want to consume your content, who maybe want to buy your content, that's the whole entire game. Like all this other stuff is just kind of making it more complicated. So if you do one thing leaving this class, if you just physically do one thing, go make an email list right now. Donnie, I know you already got one, but to my people who are going to watch this on the replay, go make an email list right now. Go make a landing page right now. And if you have $9 a month, go make a school community right now. And if you don't have a link tree, make a link tree. If you don't have a website, that's cool, whatever. Make one place where you can get to all that shit. And every single time you post anything from now on, link to that. make a call to action. Hey, you guys like my content? Join my list. Hey, you guys like my content? Join my school. Hey, you guys like my content? Click my link tree and have all that stuff on there. However you want to do it, you have to do that. You have to do some version of that, or you're just basically posting to the wind. And like my buddy, shout out to Souls Manifesto, like I'm super hyped for him that he's getting traction, but like if you don't have those emails, if you don't have a direct connection, I mean, a phone number is great too, phone number, email, whatever. If you don't have direct, actually, a real quick thought on that. People change their email way less than they change their phone number, so it's actually probably better to have email. Whatever, both is great. If you don't have that direct access to people, you run the risk consistently forever of Instagram deleting your profile, of Gmail, deleting your email account. Like if you don't have that separate somewhere else, you're basically at the mercy of whatever platform you're on. I've had channels on YouTube get just straight up deleted. That shit is horrifying. You just wake up and you're like, oh, my channel's gone. That sucks. So if you have your emails, if you have a list, if you have a process where you can regain your fans, you can always hold on to your core fan base. So if you want to be independent, if you want to be successful, if you want to not be controlled by the system and the algorithm, the email list is one of your ultimate weapons. And it's something that, myself included, I really am not utilizing to its fullest capacity. So take it from Donny Baker, man. Take it from Donny Baker. He's cooking with that shit. It works, right?
Absolutely. And
Work.
circling back on another item you were talking about, the landing page. Uh,
Yes.
you got in. You started talking about some other stuff, so I didn't want to break in, but
No,
I
go for
got
it.
I got an email from somebody this morning, and this is a person that I've followed for years and years and years. I don't know if you guys know Graham Cochran, Recording Revolution guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. I know Recording
Yeah,
Revolution. I'm on his list too.
yeah. I got an email from him. Did you see the email from him today about the London dinner thing?
I haven't checked it yet.
Okay, when you check it, notice this part. The landing page that the link sends you to is a Google Doc, a
Hmm.
shared Google Doc. Bro, that shit's free. Why are you
Yep.
not why is everybody not just doing that? And I'd never seen that before, and that, like, opened it up. I'm like, "Oh, shit," because Google Docs are gonna save. You can put them in folders. You can keep them
Totally.
organized. Oh, man.
Dude,
That
that's yeah, that's genius, and it costs no data to put a text file
absolutely.
in your Google Drive. That's smart.
That
And then
is.
that's smart too because I've had this where like I couldn't pay my website bill or whatever. I've been down bad, and and it sucks when you're like all your links go down at once. To have some platform that like till the end of time they'll be there is super
Yeah, just
clutch.
a Google Doc share link.
Right.
It was
That's
awesome, man.
smart. I'm stealing that.
It opened up my whole thing, and I'm like, "Oh, man," it blew my mind, really. I was just like, "Oh, shit, I'm doing that from now on."
Well, and it's funny because like Linktree kind of did that for me. It's like, man, Linktree is kind of a landing page if you think about it. Like, you don't have to have, like, as long as you understand the function of what it's doing in the funnel, you don't have to pay for all this fancy shit. Like, you really
Right.
don't. Like, I mean, like if you were so lazy that you didn't even want to make an email list, like you could hand write the shit. You know what I mean? We used to do that at open mics where we'd have like handwritten email lists that we get from people when they sign up. So
That's so
it's
true,
more
actually.
about the principles. It doesn't matter what, like, you can do this shit for free for sure, 100%. Might take you a little longer, but
Yeah.
so
And since you're recording, let me throw this out to, some of your people that are creating music, that they wanna get in front of people who need to hear their music. Specifically managers, publishing houses, sync license places. There's a magazine, you can find it online, it's called Music Connection Magazine, and they have a list on in every magazine that they put out. One, I think it's bi-monthly, every other week, they put it out. But they have a list, and the people on that list give their phone number, their email, their address, and you can send them your stuff unsolicited, most of them. If you're trying
sick.
to send, because 'cause I'm on that list, and trust me, bro, I get unsolicited music sent to me every pretty much daily.
That's sick. I didn't even know
Yep.
that was a thing. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a
Music
gem, dude.
Connection
I
Magazine.
appreciate that.
Throw that out there to you people, and y'all go look it up. There's a li and you gotta copy and paste each one individually, but trust me, it's worth it.
Say less. I'm on there, bro. I'm going to do that. Sick, man. Well, yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it, man. I really don't want to go too much deeper in anything because a lot of people, this is like all brand new. But while I got you, dude, is there anything that you feel like I missed in terms of like the basic, 0 to 100 fans?
Oh, no, no, dude, this is awesome, and everybody, I think, should go check this out. Um, I do agree with pretty much the majority of it, and this is where I started. This is, kinda how I make my living now, so it's important, and it works. So, yeah, definitely, definitely follow.
Word. Dude, I really appreciate that. That was awesome. Cool, man. Well, that's pretty much it, man. I think that's a good point to cut it right there. That actually took way less time than I thought it was gonna. So that's cool. I love when that happens. We covered it quick, dude. I appreciate you for pulling up. And before I close it out, man, if you wanna ever get together and like this is kind of my framework. I have one more that's like more about branding. I don't know if you saw that one. They're both next to each other. They're both on the third page on my
Okay,
class. You
okay,
should have access to all that shit.
okay.
But yeah, if you wanna take a look at those two, and like this is kind of how I approach it and how I teach it, and I'm super open to whatever. But if you want to collab on anything, I'm super down.
Yeah,
So
I think we talk about this on another call. I've had a couple of
yeah,
people in my community ask, "How do I do YouTube?" So I
okay,
think you and
specifically
I got
YouTube. Okay,
together. I'm thinking of maybe doing I think we do it on Zoom to make it easier for everybody to get involved, but we do like
sure,
a collab where you and I do a
I'm over
mastermind
it. I'm all
and
over it.
we talk like you do things the way you do things and I do things the way I do things. And I think everybody needs to understand how YouTube actually works and how it actually because I get all my traffic from YouTube. I don't post on any
Word.
other social. Um, I don't post
That's
anywhere.
awesome.
I do have a personal
Dude, it's
Facebook
working
page.
for you, man. Because I remember like I was getting a lot of my traffic just from my locals and stuff, and it like I remember watching like because I had like a lot more people in the group, not a lot, but I had more people in the group for a little bit, and I watched you go like this, and I'm seeing that like my little short burst method was cool in the beginning, but like yours is working super solid on the back end. It's making me want to push the content harder, which I know, but it's just cool to see it working in front of my eyes.
Yeah,
I love it, bro.
all my traffic comes from YouTube, bro. 'Cause I don't
Word.
post anywhere else. So and it's consistent,
Word.
and that's the thing, it's consistent. So it's consistently growing and growing and growing. And those are the fans. I
Right.
mean, those are the people that are gonna eventually buy your stuff.
Right. Straight up. Yeah, man, I'm big on that, man. I think everybody should have some type of, whether it's a personal brand or a business or something. I think everybody should be on YouTube if you're doing
Absolutely,
anything. So
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so let's get together offline here and talk about getting together and when we can do it. Maybe next month in the
sounds
next
good, man.
couple of
I'm
months.
all over it. We'll plan a date for sure.
All right, man. I appreciate you,
All
bro.
right,
Thanks for
Donnie.
hanging out.
Dude, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you so
Yeah,
much,
man.
man.
We'll talk
All right,
soon.
take care, brother.
See you, bud.
Later. All right, guys. Thank you for everybody who's watching. I hope you enjoyed the course, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out.